Hey, what's up, wrestling fans? Welcome to the dgenerationxl podcast. My name is Big Joe Yarbrough, wrestling's biggest fan by at least 60 pounds. And I'm here with the Eric to my Ivar,
Dylan Pack, and today we're going to be covering this week's wrestling news, everything going on in the world of WWE and beyond. We're going to be going over Raw and SmackDown, covering each card and giving you our opinions on each show for the week.
Yep, we also have our match of the week and all this and more on the dgenerationxl podcast, where we bring you all things wrestling
all around the world.
Break it down! Degenerate into something cool. We just got tired.
And we're back here at the dgenerationxl podcast, giving you a little teaser of the end of Raw.
That's right, baby.
But we're going to jump into this week in wrestling. It's an exciting week as well. Coming up in this week is going to be some cool stuff leading into this week of the Wednesday Night Wars. We have the Halloween editions of NXT with the Halloween edition of AEW, which they've advertised more as a Halloween show.
Yeah.
I like Halloween shows. I like holiday shows.
Holiday shows are always fun.
You
You know what I don't like, though? Is like the Thanksgiving matches when they have food.
And they just like a food fight.
Yeah.
It's like a Thanksgiving
Even
street
the
fight.
Halloween ones are kind of lame. Like they have pumpkins and they hit each other with pumpkins.
But that hurts. You know that
Yeah,
hurts. You can't really gimmick a pumpkin.
yeah, I guess.
In Christmas ones, too, because you know someone's taking a bump into a giant tree.
Yeah.
And that just sounds itchy more than anything.
Yeah.
But it's still fun. You get like Braun Strowman lifting a nice Dougie fern, breaking it on the back. It's going to be a great one. AEW came out real hot. They announced that Justin Roiland's animated series on Adult Swim, Rick and Morty, are all elite.
This is something that it's just so... They're really going for the 18 to 49 demographic.
They got me.
And of course they did. They got me too.
And then Cody tweets that they'll be handing out free masks of Rick and Morty masks to everyone in attendance.
I think they've literally got it. I think that they've got it down. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, nothing announced for NXT really as far as the holiday special on it. But
If they even do anything holiday themed.
you're right. If they didn't do anything, I like the holiday themed things. I think it's great. AEW in that same news, they also announced that they're coming home. They have a pay-per-view on a Wednesday. It's on January 1st on New Year's Day. It's AEW Homecoming, where they're going to be performing back in Jacksonville, where they had Fight for the Fallen, where they had their first ever rally, where they announced their first roster, where Jericho, Le Champion, announced he was signing with AEW, making it a legitimate company single-handedly by his signing.
Yeah, you guys need to thank him.
Yeah, thank you, Jericho. But that's some of the cool news we have. Other news coming up is from your girl, dude.
Yeah, Tessa Blanchard and Impact Wrestling has been going off. The fact that WWE never signed her is kind of it might have
Especially
been
because she was in the Mae Young Classic.
Yeah, and it might have been because of Ricochet. I'm kind of thinking,
Yeah.
But either way, Tessa Blanchard would have been an absolute star in WWE, and they have the best women's division. I think she would have fit right in at the top somewhere. But we heard a rumor that they're actually going to be putting the Impact heavyweight title onto Tessa Blanchard.
I am for that.
Yeah, I love, like, when we're going to talk about Lucha Underground. When we were watching Lucha Underground, a wrestler who's not really talked about anymore because of some controversy, but when Sexy Star won that title for the first time, I popped.
Oh,
At the time, I popped.
What I loved about that was the fact that there was no women's title. It was, you're all luchadors.
That's very true.
Yeah, there's no women's title. It's the Trios Championship, their version of a tag titles. They do 6-man tags, which I thought was exciting.
Yeah.
That's a traditional lucha thing. But then they had just that, the women's title. And something we had talked about as well is one of the best championship ideas that had been created in a long time was not, as a mid-card title, it was the Gift of the Gods Championship.
Yeah.
It was entertaining because you got the best things from like Japan, the tournaments. You had the qualifiers, and you got a ladder match out of it. It was like Money in the Bank meets a belt meets...
a tournament.
Yeah, a tournament. It was great. It was a tournament that determined if you won these pieces, if you're not familiar with it, you won these pieces, these medallions that represented the different Aztec tribes that represented the gods, different gods. And if you won your match, you got this medallion, and your medallion was your key to get into this match. And when you got into the match, this belt, beautiful belt, always had great-looking belts, you'd have to put your piece into the belt, completing the whole belt. They would suspend it above the ring, and they would have a Money in the Bank style ladder match. It was like a 6-man or 8-man ladder match. I think 6-man ladder match. And then what would happen is if you won the belt, the belt was your ticket to cash in at any time, any moment, a shot at the Lucha Underground Championship. And once you cashed in, then the tournament would start all over. It would, as soon as you cashed in, the tournament would start again. So you didn't have to wait for a pay-per-view like Money in the Bank. You have to wait a year round. If someone uses it that night, it's like, oh, it's over, you know? It was actually just really entertaining. But I'm for women winning men's championships.
Main title belts.
I think that it's really entertaining. I think we could do that. It's the same in WWE and in AEW.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the times, I might get a little flack from this. Sometimes the women aren't as good as the men. There's a lot of the women's division in AEW is not as good as the men's division. The women's division in WWE are carrying WWE right now.
Absolutely.
And so I feel like
if
you have the star power, I think that they should be able to win the heavyweight title.
Yeah, I have no problem with Becky Lynch winning the Intercontinental Championship.
That would be so sick.
Her and Nakamura just tearing it down.
Yeah.
That would be great. I would be so for that.
I'd be all about it.
Yeah. Some other news in the WWE camp or the NXT camp. We had a rough situation here. Jordan Miles, formerly known as Mr. I Pay My Bills with this shit, ACH on
That's
the
right.
Indies. Love it, dude. Always loved that guy. Really stole my heart in the Indies when I saw him a few years back at a Midnight Mania thing we used to do with the Wrestle Circus after WrestleMania. And it was in Orlando, and ever since I saw him wrestle, I thought, man, this guy's really killed it. Wrestled Shane Strickland, who's now Swerve, Isaiah Scott.
Yep.
But they tore the house down.
It's the indie version of I Got Kids.
It is. It's the indie version of I Got Kids, and it was so great. But there was some controversy sparked that he had spoken out about, that the NXT and WWE department had released a shirt that was his shirt that was a very controversial and quite frankly, just a racist imagery. And you can look up the shirt itself. It represented that of a black-faced Jim Crow kind of cartoon mouth with the red lips and the oversized teeth, and on a black T-shirt. And he'd spoken out saying this is racist and this is.
It was rough.
It was very rough. And looking at it at first glance, before I even read his comments, I even kind of thought, oh, how did that come out?
That's a little weird. Like who let that go through? You know.
And I thought like, oh man, that's just not okay. And then WWE released a statement, and there was a statement of that like, we were in the impression that Jordan had approved the design, and then a lot of people had spoken out on Twitter saying that they had approved he did approve the design, and that he was just crying wolf. Well, then he has then shown screenshots of emails and showing a little bit more and airing the dirty laundry more online.
Which I'm for.
Yeah.
Air it out, baby.
I think, it's not even just that. I know people complained online, and I read comments saying, like, this is just such a terrible way to do it, lack of professionalism. It's like...
Well, the thing is, these WWE fanboys, all they're going to do is, oh, this is bullcrap. This is bullcrap. WWE would never do this. And it's just not true.
There's a history of racist things that go on in WWE. I mean, even as a younger kid, like, I watched some of these things, and even my parents, they would put up with the bra and panties matches. They would put up with Stone Cold chugging beer and beating up his boss. But I remember even my dad seeing Vince McMahon tell Booker T and call him the N-word.
That was rough.
And you can look that up all the time. And my dad pulled me aside saying, we never call people that. You don't use that word. And I remember thinking, oh, well, why did they say it then?
Yeah,
and
why
the fact
is it on national TV?
Yeah, why is that there? And then just the treating of some of the booking and all that kind of stuff. There's just underlying tones. And the fact that you're also just politically, I'm not the most politically correct guy, but you're going into an event at Saudi Arabia with a genocidal dictator, and now you've got this.
We won't even allow women to work.
Yeah, won't even let. Yeah, we have all these women's movements, and you've got this going on. That's rough. And so,
even Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, you hire Hogan, and he actually spoke out about that.
Yeah, Jordan Miles actually tweeted about Hulk Hogan still having a job after his many controversies with racism, and all he had to do was apologize, and boom, he's back on national TV.
Yeah, and that's rough. And I know that some people, I don't know their heart, and I hope that they really find remorse and they start working on it. But again, there's also that part of like, we also need to be able to respond and address things. And there was someone had posted the response that Gucci had when they'd come out with that kind of ski mask cover that resembled the same thing. Mm-hmm. And they put out a statement completely owning the situation, saying this is just not okay. This was a misstep on ours. We're not supporting anything like this. We apologize. And WWE's response was just this backhanded blaming, pointing the finger at Jordan. And it's like, this is not okay. This is not cool. He even goes on to throw even ROH under the bus about their lack of support of African-American superstars. And I want to say, at least personally, I don't want to speak for Dylan, but I stand with Jordan Miles. I stand with what he's saying. It's inappropriate, and it can catch you off guard. And with some of the receipts he has, and
it's inappropriate because it even got through.
Yeah,
I could understand somebody on the outside not really understanding the design and showing it to Jordan Miles, and Jordan Miles, shuts it down. But how did the fact that this even got through after Jordan Miles shut it down and did not approve this?
He even showed that he sent a revision.
Yeah,
and they said they didn't approve the revision.
That Triple H and Vince McMahon saw him.
That was a vision of him.
Yeah, it was the shirt that they released was a vision of Jordan Miles, word for word.
That's not okay.
It's really rough, man.
Real bad words. And so we continue to support Jordan Miles. And in the words of your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler, if this doesn't change, cancel the network. Support your favorite indie wrestler. Subscribe to your favorite wrestler's Patreon. Because if this continues, this is something that, as a wrestling fan, this is not what wrestling's always been about. My favorite part about going to events, WrestleManias and all this stuff, I mean, we have different backgrounds and different beliefs that might be completely different than the rest of the world. But I've shared many of lines and many of moments, WrestleMania moments, Access moments with people of all walks of life, from LGBT, from black, white, Hispanic, and Asians even, and people that don't even really speak English, that we just have this moment of wrestling. And for a wrestling...
Something that you connect on.
Yeah, it's for someone to not own this and say, hey, we're about unity, real bad look. And we stand with Jordan on this. So we just...
And as wrestling fans, we already get criticized enough.
Exactly. It's just like we don't need that.
We don't need the racist things going around,
And it's starting to show in WWE because SmackDown went on the air. And you were the one that was telling me about it.
I saw Brian Alvarez post on Twitter the SmackDown ratings, and he made sure to let the world know that this was not a typo.
Yeah.
SmackDown, for the first time since they've been on Fox, a national network, is below 1 million. But not only below 1 million, they're at 888,000 views for last Friday. Less than AEW.
Yeah, that means AEW in the month that it's been on television. So the argument was, I know a lot of people, the WWE fanboys, their argument was, well, it's a brand new product, and it's of course they're going to watch it, and the debut is going to pass. The numbers are going to decline each week. But when you've got an established show on a bigger network, Fox.
Just imagine Grey's Anatomy goes to another network.
Yeah.
They're going to stay
at that level.
Because people follow the brand that they love.
Exactly. And so you're there, you're picking up new fans. You had this Fox executives big on it. You have a whole new set. You bring Brock Lesnar. You have Cain Velasquez. You have Tyson Fury.
You know what? They were on FS1 last week.
That's still bad.
It is still bad. They're under 1 million. I'm just saying I forgot about that. But it is still bad because FS1's just like the USA and the TNTs. Not everybody has those channels.
I'm saying, though, that's rough to show that, like, TNT is not as big. I would even go as far as say TNT is maybe not as big as FS1.
Oh, no.
And so you're telling me this company is beating out not only their minor leagues, as they're called, the minor leagues from Seth Rollins, but Jericho goes, that's the developmental.
Yeah.
As he says, put us up against, you could resurrect the two dead Beatles and put us up against them. We're still going to beat them,
Yeah.
But they go up not only now with NXT, that's looking in the rear view, even with such a great NXT. And I thought NXT did great with the Finn thing.
Yes.
But now you're looking back and they're going, still beat you in the ratings, and we're beating what's kind of your flagship show now.
Fox was supposed to be the main show from now
You've
on.
got The Fiend, you've got Lesnar, you're probably going to get Rousey if she ever returns. You've got Sasha Banks, you've got this Bayley, you've got all the big established stars, and you've got Corey Graves, Michael Cole on commentary,
The better announcing team.
You have Renee Young doing backstage with Booker T. You had Paige on backstage. All this stuff, all your eggs in the basket on the blue brand. You even had the Monday Night Football robot in the draft room.
And you dropped the basket of eggs.
You dropped the eggs to AEW. And not just AEW, to Le Champion, Chris Jericho.
Ooh. Ooh, that hurts.
Oh, that hurts bad.
I'm sorry.
But let's go right into SmackDown. We're going right into this week of this last week of wrestling that passed. We cover everything from the past week, from basically from Friday all the way on till today, Monday, and then we kick it off on Wednesday night. But
yeah, Friday we started off with Team Hogan going up against Team Flair in the ring face to face. And the funny thing about this was they decided to not bring the Raw superstars onto the show because they weren't allowed. Okay.
yeah, because it's the wild card rule is apparently dead.
Wildcard rule is apparently dead, so they didn't have Randy Orton.
They didn't have Randy Orton. They didn't have Drew McIntyre.
Yep,
They
and they
didn't
didn't
have
have Ricochet. That's right. So all the rest of them were in the ring together.
And Andrade. Andrade wasn't there either.
And Andrade wasn't there. So you had Team Hogan against Team Flair, and of course we started off the night like this. I'm just so not interested in this, first of all. Second of all, Rey Mysterio was on Raw and SmackDown.
Technically, was Ray drafted?
Yeah, Rey was drafted to SmackDown. And he was on... No. He was drafted to Raw, and he was on Friday Night SmackDown.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. So already wildcard rules back in action, I guess.
Yeah. Kane wasn't drafted.
I don't know if Kane was drafted.
He was
He's
not.
too busy doing mayor things.
No, Kane Velasquez.
Oh, Kane Velasquez.
He wasn't drafted.
No, but Ray was. I know that for a fact.
that's
so it's kind of bull, you know.
Lazy storytelling.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, we got off to a start with Hogan versus... I mean, of course, they're going to go for the cheap pop with Hogan and Flair. But they stand in the ring. They shooting promos at each other. Shorty G's wearing his Shorty G basketball
dude.
get up.
He looks like Muggsy Bogues from Space Jam,
Dude,
dude.
who said that? Somebody said that on commentary.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I
Like he's trying out for the Monstars.
Tim.
Somebody said that, dude.
Probably
I loved
Corey,
it.
probably Corey. It's only
'cause
Corey
he's
and
clever,
Michael.
because he's clever. It is probably Corey Graves. Shorty G in this basketball get up.
Shorty
It's just
D.
awful, dude. Am I Shorty D now?
You should be Shorty D.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, so of course the short jokes start coming. Ali steps in, and
Ollie's bad. Ollie's kind of bad.
Yeah, and he's also shorter than Shorty G.
Ollie made the worst face roast. It was like, you're supposed to be a mouthpiece for Shinsuke Nakamura, and it's ironic because your breath stinks.
Yeah, it was rough.
And I was like, oh.
But he had a great line before that, and whoever I was watching it with, I was watching with you.
Yeah.
I was like, why did you keep going? Just cut it there. Why did you have to add the breath stinks line? You had a great
It was
one-liner.
a notorious Roman Reigns tater tots.
Or suffering succotash.
When he says because I remember he even says tater tots twice. He's like, listen, you little Irish potato, I'm gonna Superman punch you till you turn to tater tots. Listen to the camera and goes, tater tots. He's like, if you didn't hear me, I freaking wrecked him.
This was, I mean, I'm enjoying seeing Hogan and Flair and yada yada yada.
I'm enjoying seeing Flair.
I love Flair. Yeah.
Hogan's already also what I'm getting more upset about. How do you have Flair and you have Hogan and you have the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, not opening his mouth ever?
Not once.
Not once has Jimmy Hart been like...
He has a megaphone, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And not once has he said a word. I'm so defeated.
How do you have one of the best talking managers, the most legendary ones, not say a damn word?
Whatever, man. Like I said, this was kind of a rough start for me. I wouldn't give it a very high grade on this one. What do you think?
Well, it was awful because it was setting up this 3-on-3 main event, Teddy Long play a tag match. Then the only thing that was kind of a little twist was that they said that Sami Zayn couldn't compete because he was on a no touching rule.
Is he injured?
No, I don't know why. He just didn't do it. He just said he's not doing it, and then he said something about the airline gave him some kind of weird neck crank. So then instead of surprising us with some big shot, they go Cesaro, who's been jobbed out lately.
Yeah, but I was excited to see Cesaro in the main event. I always like watching Cesaro wrestle. He's one of the best. I think he's one of the best in the business.
I think Cesaro needs to be someone that comes and challenges Walter.
And NXT UK?
And they would destroy. They would tear the house down.
Yeah, that would be insane. Next up, we had the first match of the night. We had the New Day, Kofi Kingston.
Can I just stop for a second and say that segment was so long, and we're just getting to the first match of the night.
I know.
It was awful.
I know. We'll get through this. The New Day's Kofi Kingston and Big E versus Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. This makes me real upset talking about this one. Kofi takes the pinfall here.
Yeah.
Like, just a couple weeks ago, he was our WWE champion.
Yeah, and they did some hints to him losing the belt, maybe being angry about it, crushing the pancake backstage segments, but this is just bad. Like, I don't understand it. You got to figure out what you're doing with. That's another thing. Fact that it's the New Day. That's like the biggest tag team in the world, selling merch upon merch.
Yeah, I don't know if they do a heel turn and they split up. I guess I don't even want that to happen.
No, because Xavier's injured, so at that point you don't have the third man in it. It just
doesn't make any sense.
Anyway,
but
next thing.
obviously Zood goes over on the New Day, which is just a bad decision in my opinion. Next up, we had Lacey Evans versus a local competitor.
And she just squashes her with the women's right. She gives her a chance to leave. She walks out, then just runs back in and clocks
Well,
her.
the ref gets to 9, and then she runs back in the ring. This poor jobber is jumping in the ring like, I got my first WWE win, yay! And Lacey Evans jumps in, knocks her with the women's right, 1, 2, 3. Like, what is this supposed to do?
Yeah, the only thing that's kind of interesting from Lacey Evans, I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, she got accused of doing sexual acts to get where she's at in her career from Sonya Deville.
Whoa.
Yeah, Sonya tweeted something about her, and then and then Lacey Evans responded with like, "You're just pissed because I'm where I am in my short career. I'm headlining Monday Night Raw. I'm headlining pay-per-views while you're still stuck in the mid card, chauffeuring some other blonde that's not as pretty as me, and I still got time to like give it to my man and drop a plate for him at night." And then she's like, "It's a hard pill to swallow, honey." And then Sonya responded with, "Yeah, that's probably the difference between you and me, swallowing."
That's tight.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a work, but that's a pretty big accusation. That's a married woman.
Yeah, that's real rough.
And she's a vet, dude. I'd be careful, Sonya.
I'd like to see that match though.
I guess.
We had the Firefly Funhouse, which was the funeral of Rambling Rabbit, and they did talk about him rebuilding the Firefly Funhouse for the past 2 weeks. They did make a mention of that.
I like this segment a lot because a lot of people, I think, glazed over it and they went, oh, okay. But it showed that those gloves have power. Because when he grabbed Rambling Rabbit, it made it very clear he was grabbing with the heel hand.
Yeah.
And when he picked him up and he gave him a kiss and he said, "Good night, sweet prince," and he put him back down, he comes to life and he says, "It worked." And he like looked at his hands. And so the fact that he knows that the hurt works, but the heel works too. And I'm getting goosebumps from it because I thought,
wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
I didn't even
watch it again.
No, I know what you're talking about
Yeah.
because I remember them putting an emphasis on the heel on his knuckles.
Yep.
And I was like, that didn't really make sense to me. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, so whenever he
I'm
puts
a
the hurt
stupid
to him,
WWE mark.
yeah, when he puts the hurt to his ear, that's whenever he did the chainsaw thing in the first Firefly Funhouse, when he decides to smash Rambling Rabbit for the first time, because every time Rambling Rabbit dies, he just kind of does like a Kenny from South Park, just is back next week.
Yeah.
But this is the first time where it's like he actually died, but when he was grabbed by the heel glove and he made an emphasis on it, he comes back to life and Bray looks at his hands and goes, "Yowie wowie, it worked."
Wow.
And it's like,
I'm blown away.
it's really cool because it added to the story that, so the gloves are a big part of it. Whether this is a purgatory, whether these are the voices in his head, whether he actually has the power to heal or hurt people, and it's up to the Fiend to do so. So it kind of shows that when he does his entrance as the Fiend and he puts those gloves to his ears, he's really conflicted listening to both on what they want him to do.
Wow.
And
you're blowing my mind right now.
And here's what's even crazier. I didn't notice this too. When I saw that heel thing, when you put his hands to his ears and he does this, right? And he freaks out and then he immediately turns to the stairs, that's his hurt hand. So whenever he's doing this and he turns that way, he's going the way the hurt hand said. So it'd be interesting to see what happens if he goes the other way.
Wow, you're really blowing my mind.
And I thought it was a great episode. I was like, whoa, there's so much.
That really jumped a grade for me right there. Wow.
That was a great segment to me. This is why I watch WWE, is because of the Fiend. The Fiend. And by the way, WWE 2K, thanks for effing me so hard on the glitchiest game ever, which I've never complained about because I don't care. I'm a wrestling mark. But thanks for making me pre-order the game 2.5 months in advance, and I get the game at 9 p.m. the day it comes out, ready to play as the Fiend because I got the dang pre-order, and then you telling me I don't get them for a month.
Yeah, that's ass.
I was heated. I was heated.
Scared me.
Sorry, dude. I was
so mad.
I was very heated.
Next up, we had Drew Gulak versus Kalisto with the Lucha House Party in his corner.
And Gulak just gets squashed by Braun. Again.
Yeah, again. And I really want to see this PowerPoint.
What do you mean?
His PowerPoint.
Oh my God, I hate you so much. I forgot I even did the PowerPoint.
That was the most interesting thing in the match.
I've been doing more and more looking in Drew Gulak from his Evolve days with Catchpoint. What an amazing character that they could still have. That would be a good, like, man, that's a good working dude. And they got him doing PowerPoint.
Yeah, I kind of like the funny stuff like that. I
like it, but I think go and watch him on Evolve. The Catchpoint thing, he's like Walter before Walter. Like his whole thing is like this ring, wrestling, no flying, no fancy spots, pure. He's like Zack Sabre Jr. mixed with a Walter. Ooh. That's his whole gimmick, and he's a good wrestler. Like he's a good brawling wrestler. I would love to see Drew Gulak go at it with Pete Dunne. Like that would be a brawl.
Yeah, I would love that. Ooh. Next up on SmackDown, we had Daniel Bryan came out to the ring, followed by Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn, the mouthpiece. And they offered Daniel Bryan a new shot at life. Because
the Yes Movement should be dead, they said.
They
asked him if the Yes Movement was back.
Yeah, and they brought up an old video of him yelling that the Yes Movement was dead, that this is the new Daniel Bryan. And Sami Zayn trying to get him to stay on the dark side, talking about how Sami Zayn's a vegan and none of these people out here care about the environment like I do.
Shinsuke loves the earth.
Yeah, the ocean.
Oh, the ocean.
Yeah.
He cares about
Shinsuke's the ocean lover.
He likes to surf.
Yeah, he does like to surf.
He also likes to chain smoke like no other.
Like no other.
So he's really killing Mother Earth.
I was into this. I like that they're building on Shinsuke and Daniel Bryan.
And there's no answer from Daniel.
And there was no answer. That's what I liked. That it keeps me invested, and I want it.
And I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, I want to tune in next week, or even at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, whenever the pay-per-view is, I know
when
that
he goes over and gets the Intercontinental title, and he just stands on the rope.
Well, I think what's going to happen is he'll lose a couple times because of Sammy and them, and then I think leading up to his pay-per-view, he'll sit there and he's fighting, and he's going to get his butt whooped by Shinsuke for a while. Sammy's going to get ejected, and then I know he's going to mount his comeback, do the kip up and the arm thing, and then he'll get in the corner, and he'll just look like he'll do the yes kicks, and everyone will do yes, and he won't do anything. He'll hit the yes kick thing, and then he'll get in the corner, and then he'll run at the guy, and everyone's chanting yes. He'll run at Shinsuke. Shinsuke will reverse it, hit him with like a Kinshasa, and he'll kick out. And then out of nowhere, he'll get some mounted offense, reversing something, hitting a drop kick. He'll get in the corner, and then just, yes! And that's when everyone's going to pop. Like,
dude,
he finally did it.
Goosebumps, dude.
That's going to be great. He's going to be like, yes, yes. And then, boom, hits
Dude,
the running knee.
When I get the yes movement back, I'm popping so hard.
So hard. I'm about it.
Daniel Bryan's one of the greatest storytellers to ever live.
He's such a great wrestler. Just such a great wrestler.
Oh, man.
I'm excited to bring that Intercontinental title back to him. He's a great Intercontinental champion.
Yeah, it was a great segment for sure. Next up, we had Nikki Cross versus Mandy Rose with Sonya Deville with Bayley and Sasha on commentary. They got to keep Bayley off the mic.
Yeah, get my girl off the mic.
Michael Cole.
It's your girl, really.
Michael Cole roasted her today, and I'm like,
Michael Cole's roasted.
Michael Cole roasted you? Please.
Yeah.
Just stop. Just stop talking.
You're getting roasted by Michael Cole? That's a slippery slope to Byron Saxton roasting you.
Almost
there.
Yeah, that's like D.L. Madden roasting you.
Yeah.
Dude's been in wrestling for like 2 weeks. And if he's roasting you, that's awful. Cole, if Michael Cole roasts you, you need to just go away for a little bit. Don't be on commentary. Don't even, we need to get you a mouthpiece, Bayley, because you need to learn how to defend yourself.
Yeah, Shinsuke's a better mouthpiece than you at this point. Knee to belly, Bayley.
Dude, Bayley, I love you. I will always love you.
I will always love you.
Wow.
That's your girl, dude. That's your girl.
I really hope that you guys put on a great match at
that's your girl,
at Crown Jewel.
At Super Show
Super Crown Mania.
Yeah, Nikki Cross goes over here. And she, I don't know what happened. She had a new thing in the match where her outfit kind of opened up. I don't know if that was a look on purpose or
I don't know. She opened up her
little her Roman Reigns vest to show she was wearing a secret sports bra.
I'm actually kind of confused about Nikki Cross's character.
I think she's not crazy anymore.
No, she is. Did you see her entrance?
I think she's just super hype.
No, that was crazy. Because she's screaming.
I think she's just.
But then in a backstage interview, she's like, "Hey, Bayley." It's just so weird.
It is.
I don't get it.
Yeah, it needs a little more definition.
Yeah, it does. It does. Then we have the face-off. We have Cain Velasquez supposed to go face-to-face with Brock Lesnar.
not Brock Lesnar.
No, Brock Lesnar.
No,
So anyway,
no.
we're
Let me cut you off there, Dylan. The proper introduction would not be just Brock Lesnar. It would be
So next up,
the reigning, defending, undisputed WWE heavyweight champion, Brock Lesnar. Continue.
So Brock, scared of Kane Lesnar. Yeah, scared of Kane Lesnar.
No.
Refuses to meet Cain Velasquez in the ring. Also, I heard like Cain Velasquez's entrance music is kind of tight. Anyway, so Cain Velasquez and Rey Mysterio standing in the ring. Rey Mysterio cuts a very good babyface promo, which he's very good at doing.
Yeah.
Gets the crowd behind them. And, of course, Paulie Heyman and Brock Lesnar show up on the Titantron, the big screen. And Paul Heyman cuts a great promo talking about how so close to Crown Jewel, why would we even get into the ring with you?
Yeah, not a good idea, which is smart on them.
Smart on them. So then
That's
Paul
why
Heyman,
you have an advocate.
Yeah, that's why, exactly. And he was telling Rey Mysterio he needs to work on his mic skills because he's not even near the advocate that Paul Heyman is.
No, yeah.
Paul Heyman starts asking, like, where do you think I am? Just take a guess. Where do you think I am?
Or even then he says, where do you think I am? He says, we're busy anyways doing what Brock Lesnar does. Where do you think Brock Lesnar is doing? Yeah,
doing what he's doing.
And then he's like, come on, Paul, quit playing games. He goes, fine, if you won't guess where, will you guess what it is that Brock Lesnar is doing what he's doing? And then he goes, Paul, cut it out, come out here. And he's just like, fine, if you won't guess where, if you won't guess what, whom is Brock Lesnar doing what Brock Lesnar does? And then Ray's just like, get out here. They're yelling at him. And he goes, fine, if you won't indulge me, we'll just have to show you. And my boy, dude, my beast, my baby beast, my little, my beast, dude, beats the custody papers out of Dominic again. And he picks up Dominic off camera, who's just been laying at his feet, and just picks him up and holds his face, ripped shirt and all, showing that he just beat the hell out of Dominic again.
Yeah.
Loved it.
This segment was a very good segment in my opinion.
A great segment.
And I'm usually not about Brock Lesnar. I usually freaking hate Brock Lesnar. I think he's awful.
What?
But this segment was a great segment. Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar, Rey Mysterio, Cain Velasquez all killed it. So we have Brock holding Dominic's head, and you get Rey Mysterio running out, Cain Velasquez running out. And later in the night, we actually get them backstage is what the I really wanted to talk about. Dominic's in the trainer's room getting attended to.
Getting some space.
Yeah.
Because the attender keeps saying, give him some space, give him some space.
Yeah, for 10 minutes, the doctor goes, Dominic, you okay? Give me some space, guys. Nobody's moving, okay? Not one person's moving. All right, guys, give me some space. Give me some space. Hey, I need some space here to work. You guys need to get out of here. Can I get some space? I'm not exaggerating. Go watch the segment. It was absolutely irritating.
About space for a while.
Brock Lesnar runs into the training room and just gives everybody an F5.
Like his F5, he cracks Kane with a trash can.
Oh, that's right.
Just out of nowhere, just
hard.
Boom, just hits him stiff. Picks up Ray and throws him like a damn rag doll into this false wall. That's him onto like a catering
table.
It was
like a wooden locker.
It was
almost.
Yeah, it was like a wooden locker with like a table nowhere near this 10-footer. It was probably like
like 5 feet or something.
5 feet or something.
He's like 3'6" or something.
Yeah,
like
so, yeah, exactly. Hits him on this table and then picks up Cain Velasquez and F5s him onto Dominic on the trainer's table. And I was like, wow.
Dominic's a sell.
Dominic will sell great. He's going to be great as a wrestler.
Yeah, he's going to be real great.
But the best part about these storylines is I like these storylines because they allude. That's where they need to start making more storylines like that. Because what we saw was entertaining. It caught you off guard, but also it helps you kind of foreshadow.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't a foreshadowing really even. It wasn't even a prediction. It was a spoiler for what's going to happen at Arabian Nights.
Damn it. We end up the night with SmackDown with Roman Reigns, Ali, and my boy Shorty G versus King Corbin, Cesaro, and Shinsuke Nakamura. This was a very long match, but I thought was a very good match.
It was good.
I loved Roman Reigns' pyro. Is if they're going to give it to him every week, I'm so down
He
for it.
was spot on.
Roman Reigns is over. I don't know when it happened because after the leukemia thing, it kind of died down a little bit, and now it's like blown up. I don't know where it came from, but he's over.
I don't know that. When I was at Fox, at the debut of it on Fox, there was
Are they fooling me?
There was a lot of boos. I think
Are they giving me fake cheers?
I think they're penciling in some of those cheers because when I
I
was
fell
there,
for it.
there was a lot of boos. I was even like, I'm just gonna say nothing because I don't want to be the guy that boos the guy that beat cancer.
Yeah.
So I was like, I know. I'm just gonna be cautious. I'm just gonna sit. And homie comes out and kids next to me, boo.
Oh, that's rough.
And I'm like, dude, Johnny, he beat cancer. Do you even know what cancer is?
Yeah. Johnny, he's my number 30.
Yeah. Jeez, give him some respect. But yeah, I don't know. But he's getting a mixed thing. But good match overall.
So we had Reigns, Ali, and Shorty defeat Corbin, Nakamura, and Cesaro. Obviously, I mean, it's just going to be 50-50 booking until we get to Crown Jewel. But anyway, good match.
And it ends SmackDown overall with some highs, some lows, some just lulls. It was okay.
It was an okay SmackDown.
It was okay SmackDown. Definitely, I was a little surprised at the ratings of it because it wasn't as bad as I think the couple last weeks, but it was rough. It was rough. It was rough sometimes just because you're like, okay, I don't know why.
I really hope that after Crown Jewel we start picking up pace
Because you got Survivor Series coming up.
Yeah, and Crown Jewel's usually the
The lull, like let's fill in some just big marquee, like the focus.
get some old names and
The focus is on Tyson and on Kane.
and I'll make a prediction that nothing is going to happen at Crown Jewel.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
Except our boy Monsoon.
So Raw's up next.
Yeah, Raw would actually started off pretty crazy. We were watching it and we were just saying, what's kicking it off? Is Roman kicking it, or is Rollins kicking it off? Is the man kicking off? Which one? Flip a coin. And to our surprise, Paige kicks it off.
Which I'm about.
Yeah, I was stoked. It's like,
I've
whoa.
always been a fan of Paige.
I love Paige. It was great. She comes out and she talks about how she had been absent for a bit, but when she helped form the Kombucha
Brawlers.
Yeah, Bukkake Brawlers, that people thought she was crazy and it was a big risk, but she's glad that it's paid off and that they're now the women's champions, WWE Women's Champions, tag team women's champions. Then she invites them out. They have their entrance. They walk down to the ring. She starts talking more about them. And then out of nowhere, Asuka just rips the mic out of Paige's hand. And they continue this gimmick where they only speak in Japanese and laugh. And so she cuts a promo in Japanese, and then Paige takes it back and goes, "Hey, love, this is mine." You know, it kind of establishes like, "Hey, know your place," kind of thing. Right before she goes to speak, Kairi Sane just rips the mic out of her mouth, or out of her hands, and then she starts cutting the promos, in Japanese again. Then Paige goes to take it back. Kairi fights her. She drops the mic, and when she goes to pick it up, when she comes back up, boom, green blue cocky right in her face. Paige gets blue cocky. She takes a blue cocky bump for probably one of the many times in her career. And
The other one she took it from is injured.
the other one she goes from injured. The other one she took it from is now Brad Maddox.
Retired.
Yeah, he's
Retired.
He's retired. We'll call it retired. So yeah, we thought she was gonna take a bump. And I was like, oh.
I was hoping for it, but yeah, she's not ever wrestling again.
And then out of nowhere, to come to her rescue, the man Becky Lynch comes up. So it's a segue to get the man in there,
I'm real glad that she doesn't look like her WWE 2K20 character.
which looks awful. How are you the cover person on the game and you look the worst in the game?
Oh.
On top of this, though, I thought was funny was this is some, like, people were criticizing like companies like NWA or even like AEW or ROH or Impact with just some of their like debuting and like surprises and all these angles. Man, WWE needs to get it together. Becky Lynch's music hits, and Asuka's not even attacking Paige. She's just out there like in her face with her hands up, doing the whole. Kairi's in the ring. Here comes Becky Lynch. She's just wailing on Kairi, and then Asuka like turns around and like double takes, like, oh, and then runs in to help her. And I'm thinking, did you not hear the blaring music over the arena?
Did you not see the man pop up?
Where have you been? Like, I don't understand that. That's like, where did you think she was just not coming out? They just hit the music and you're like, I got time.
Yeah, I got time.
I got time.
Becky Lynch ain't fast.
Yeah, so anyway, Becky Lynch goes over on Kairi Sane with a disarmer. We were talking about Becky Lynch really needs to come up with a finishing maneuver for a pinfall.
Yeah, that's not a submission.
Yeah, like something.
I think it would really round out her character.
We had talked about a couple options. Was I thought if she did like a Shining Wizard with like a knee drop, like a dropping the knee pad kind of thing, or I also referenced since they really pushed the whole her and Seth are engaged thing.
Yeah.
Let her
They
do
are?
Yeah, they're engaged, dude.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, let her do the curb stomp,
I'd be so down.
which would be cool for her. But yeah, that was what they have there. And then again, Becky Lynch goes over. Cool little segment there. Next up, we had what I thought was exciting, a little bit of a watering down. That's what I hate. I hate this lackadaisical booking and this fear of making. I don't know if it's a fear of making wrestlers look weak or strong because they have no problem doing that to certain wrestlers, as we'll get here.
That are great
But
wrestlers.
They're great wrestlers, but this 50-50 wishy-washy victory booking is just not doing it for me. We get R-Truth out here, who's just hilarious. Just like doing his thing. No longer the 24/7, 48-20, 7-11 European television hardcore champion.
Yeah, he got his bifocals.
He got his
Because
bifocals.
he didn't know that there was two Singh brothers. So in order to see both of them, he got bifocals.
Yeah, that's just funny.
Loved it.
And he's going up against Buddy Murphy. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm excited to see Buddy Murphy work. They're working a pretty good match, actually. R-Truth can still go.
Yes, he can.
And in the middle of the match, the Bollywood boys, the Singh brothers, are being chased around for their 24/7 titles, causing a distraction for R-Truth that causes Buddy Murphy to hit his version of a V-trigger, and we get a 1-2-3. Great, Buddy Murphy's getting a victory. It feels like, again, just a couple weeks ago, he was getting clean victories over Daniel Bryan, pushing Roman Reigns to the limit, and now losing to Ali in the King of the Ring, and then just losing again to Ali clean before SmackDown. I saw on the Fox one, and here he is getting this R-Truth victory, but at the hands of a distraction, the 24/7 title. He doesn't need that.
Yeah.
Also, he has one of the best finishers. Murphy's Law is a phenomenal finisher.
And he's still the best kept secret.
He really is, and I really think that if there's anything I would love to see fantasy booking wise from this whole wrestling war, is even if Buddy Murphy went to Impact, if he went to NWA, if he went to AEW, when he comes out and says "Secret's out," because he really deserves to be somewhere else and be a star.
yeah.
He's a star. He's a star. He's a star. He's a star.
100% agree.
Yep.
What's up next?
Next, we had Ricochet going up against. Oh no, we didn't have Ricochet. We had
that's right.
Ricochet versus Drew McIntyre, and with Hogan in Ricochet's corner.
I was pissed.
And
Pissed
Flair,
about this.
and Flair in Mac's corner. And you said, I'm excited for this one. It's a rematch from last week.
It's
And
going to be 50-50 booking. I know Ricochet is going to go over.
he said,
yada,
he says
yada.
Ricochet's going over because Drew went over and he brutalized him. He's going to get his revenge, like a roll up or something. And you asked me, how do you think it's going? I said, yeah, Ricochet's winning, but he's going to get a DQ win. And you're like, they're not going to DQ win him. They're just going to 50-50 it. And I go, yeah, that's what they're going to want you to think. But I haven't even seen a pinfall. Like, I saw Buddy Murphy win because of a distraction of the 24/7 title. I saw a submission win, really, from Becky Lynch. I have yet to see a just clean pinfall. I just want to see a clean, just decisive, I won over somebody.
This is the second time this week that they've made me out to be a WWE mark.
Yeah, so you thought, oh, it's going to happen. They put on a pretty good match. Drew McIntyre smacks the taste out of Ricochet's mouth.
Yeah.
At one segment, just Ricochet hits
Smacked
him
him so hard that he tasted Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah, he woke up and he was Prince Puma. He smacked him, and he just goes like Ricochet hits him with like a double hand chop in the gut, and he goes boom, boom, and just immediately cracks him. And I'm like, oh, and just Drew was real stiff. I don't know if Ricochet asked him to do it because those guys both work the indies pretty well. Ricochet goes for the 630. It's missed, and then really out of nowhere for the first time. Well, they're really
that's
good.
true.
Randy Orton comes out of nowhere, captain of Team Flair, and RKO's Ricochet. Ricochet wins DQ, and they.
I wasn't too mad about it because I was actually surprised.
I was surprised by it, but I was like, and I looked at him and go, DQ.
I ignored him.
Yeah, he ignored me.
You don't
But,
deserve my energy.
but I liked both Drew. Drew was really pushing that Hogan, pushing him, coming face to face with him, tell him, take your glasses off, look me in the eyes. And then when he goes, you want to go, brother? And he goes, crown jewel. Just looks at him, crown jewel. I hope I see a spot like that. That's going to be good.
I want to see Hogan take a Claymore kick.
Oh, freak, dude. That's going to be gnarly. Next up, we have the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Viking Raiders, defending their titles, I think, or maybe not. But they're right on there every week wrestling, and they're wrestling against the Chicago Cubs.
Get out of here.
They're in...
Dude, they're the tag team champions. Give them some actual opponents.
Yeah, they're going against these guys dressed in what looks like their Little League outfits of their children.
Yeah.
And they just demolish these guys. They win. No storyline after that. We get a cool AOP. Again, another promo. I hope to see AOP as a surprise at Crown Jewel. That would be great in that best of the world tournament, them winning it.
Very glad that they use subtitles. Very glad that they speak perfect English.
You didn't know they spoke English?
I didn't. Before that promo, I had no idea
We
that they
met
spoke
them at
English.
Access.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then Joel went on his own because he had to sign, and then
That's right.
Yeah.
I guess I just didn't put 2 and 2 together.
you're right. Then we get Sin Cara going up against El Wu, Andrade with Zelina, and Sin Cara, I thought didn't speak English.
See, I knew that.
You knew he spoke English?
Yeah, 'cause
I'm pretty sure that the original Sin Cara, like
Did not
Mystico,
speak
does
English.
not speak. I did not speak English, and so I thought, I didn't know if the other one did. So he's out there cutting a gorilla position promo, asking about his match with Andrade, which is going to be good. I rewatched the match; it was all right.
First words out of Sin Cara's mouth were botched.
Yeah, he botched his
Come
own
on.
promo, and then he goes, "I bought backup," and he brought Carolina, which, what? Who is that?
Catalina, I think.
It was Carolina. It looked like Carolina.
Oh, yeah. The R's are kind of D sounds.
Yeah, like Catalina. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay. He brings up this other luchador girl, and she looked like she was like struggling to end her sentences.
Yeah, it was rough.
And
But
then-
you got to give some leeway to the Spanish speaking first.
Yeah. So and she did hit the trampoline spot, but didn't go over. She
No.
just like let on the apron.
On the apron, but at least she got it.
and then she
Did mess that up.
and then she turned around, and I thought she was gonna let Sin Cara jump over her. And I
Would
was
you?
like, homegirl, you haven't been watching WWE for very
I
long.
would not let him do that for me.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't do that for my life, dude. I was heck no. So then she, last second, just drops
Ducks.
down and he jumps over. They have a good match there. But again, Andrade goes over. Andrade's just looking good, man. I hope he keeps getting a push.
Yeah, same. This next match, I do not understand.
Nope.
Not even a little bit.
Nope. Don't even care.
Go ahead.
It was my queen, our queen, the reigning queen, Charlotte Flair,
Yeah.
and the Heart of Calgary, Natalia, going up against the Iconics.
The best women's tag team.
Oh, absolutely, and they're both looking great. They're looking in great shape. I'm noticing the highlights, girl. Don't you worry. It looks real good.
We all notice.
We noticed. Dude, we got that. Peyton Royce bringing the highlights. It's really good.
Y'all also look a little rough in the game.
Oh, what do you mean? Oh, they look bad in the video
Yeah.
game. They
Yeah.
look really bad, especially Billy Kay. I feel bad.
Yeah.
I thought this was a chance for the Iconics to go over to start some Charlotte and Natalia.
Even
feud.
if they got a pin on Natalia.
Yeah, that doesn't do anything. It just ends with Natalia getting a Billy Kay getting into a sharpshooter, and then when Peyton Royce starts to break it up, the only kind of cool highlight to me was Charlotte wrecks her with a spear.
Yeah.
Hits her with a hard spear, and I was like, dang, she really brings it, and then a tap out, and that's it.
I don't understand why Charlotte and Natalia are a team. Where did that come? There was no backstory to it. Just sloppy. All of it was sloppy. I did not understand the match at all. It shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, next up we have our Universal Champion going up against Eric Rowan in a Falls Count Anywhere match to prelude him going in a Falls Count Anywhere match on Thursday against the Fiend Bray Wyatt. And I didn't know if you noticed this week. It wasn't on last week. They put on the freaking little match card preview on the graphic. Falls Count Anywhere. The match cannot end by any circumstances.
Yeah, it cannot be stopped for any reason.
Not stop for any reason. Then you
They've
said
had that for a couple of weeks.
no, it wasn't on last week. Like written on there, it wasn't on.
Yeah,
there.
it was. It's been there since like.
Okay, I didn't notice it. I saw that, and then you asked me, it's like, so how do you think it's gonna end? I'm like, oh, it's gonna be stopped. It's gonna be stopped for something
If
stupid.
it is,
I'm telling you, cannot be stopped by any reason. It's stopped. It's over. And you have no answers. No answers.
I'm over it, dude.
So well,
This
that's what I
was
think
an okay match.
there was nothing really memorable except for the fact that Eric Rowan scared the crap out of a kid in the crowd.
Oh, kid with Down syndrome.
He scared
I was so upset.
I was like, dude.
Eric Rowan literally yelled at him, like, ah, and the kid was like, oh god, like, dude, I was like, ah.
I think it was just in the moment. He didn't realize. Probably felt really bad.
Yeah, I hope he feels bad. That was awful. I hope
But-
that kid gets front row seats next week.
Also, on top of that, I thought the ending was so stupid.
Oh, I loved it.
No, it wasn't. He pins Eric Rowan by getting. He doesn't even pin him. He gets a guy who runs a forklift. He doesn't even run the forklift because he probably doesn't know how to do it. Says, who knows how to run this? This guy comes over, pushes the forklift down on Eric Rowan, and then he stands on the forklift. 1, 2, 3. He wins.
I was in.
You're stupid.
I love props like that.
It's cool if he's doing it. He's not even doing it.
But he made somebody else do it.
Okay. You're the Universal Champion. I'm here every week. I don't need anybody. I'm the Beast Slayer. Except I need Greg to run the forklift to beat Eric Rowan.
Balls count anywhere, baby. Under a forklift counts.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, then we get AJ Styles cutting a promo welcoming the new signee to Raw, who had a really great showcase against the Universal Champion last week.
The Black Power Ranger.
Yeah, the Black Power Ranger, Mr. Dimples, Hot Boy Summer, Humberto El Patron. Humberto Del Rio goes up against AJ Styles. Has a not as good an outing as he did with Seth, I thought.
Yeah, I mean,
Still stealing the Darby Allin arm drag.
I like it. He's a good wrestler, man.
He's a good wrestler, but he doesn't have as good fluidity as Darby Allin.
No, and I really wish that I would get some more backstory on Humberto rather than like, oh, you're a really good wrestler. Let's put you up against Seth Rollins, like
And AJ, yeah.
I don't care. Like, what is this guy about? What's his thing?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Know. And his hair is just so stringy. It looks like when you tear apart string cheese not evenly.
What a pet peeve.
It's very pet peeve-ish for me. But AJ wins, and then he beats him up, and then we get a save from the Street Profits.
Yeah, love it. Street Profits are great. They're always going to be great.
Yeah, I love the Street Profits. They also, who did they clear the ring of? They cleared the ring of
the OC.
The OC, and Angelo hit a big bump on Carl Anderson.
Yeah, that shoulder tackle was rough.
Yep. And then we get to the
highlight of the night.
The highlight of the night.
Oh, I'm so glad that you're on this right now.
So going into this ending here, guys, I was out. I was out long before, and I went, "Why am I doing this? I'm a husband. I'm a husband."
I once was.
Yeah, Dylan's going for his 2-time. Going for being. I'm a 1-time heavyweight husband, and Dylan's going for 2-time.
I beat you.
Yeah, I beat you. And I'm a father, and I'm feeling uncomfortable watching these segments. We have not King's Court, we have King's Divorce Court, where Lana and Rusev come face to face to talk about their marital issues. Rusev again still over. Lana comes out, and dude, she comes out, and I'm already like, this is so cringy. This is all cringy. And Rusev looks kind of like a little boy when he's just like sitting there all like naive. He's like,
he's so stoked to see his wife.
Yeah, and he's so happy, and he's still wearing his wedding band. And she said, like, she comes out and says that the reason what she did, like, they throw us for so many loops. It was a very soap opera.
It was very emotional.
It was not even emotional. It was very soap opera-y, where it was like so many things, but then they hit one that landed, and I was like, oh. Okay. So they start off with the fact of this was bad on their part if they were trying to get this over. And I feel like what happened was they thought this was going to go over, and Vince tells Lana, like, if that doesn't work, then say it's this. And if that doesn't work, then just say this, you know? And she comes out and says, the reason why I did this was because Rusev never really cared about me. He always cares about himself and what he wants. And all Rusev cares about was sex. And then everyone in the crowd pops.
Just, of course.
Pops. Like,
it's Lana.
Yeah. And Rusev's trying to be like, no. But when they pop, he's like.
He goes to Jerry and he goes, I mean, can you blame me?
Yeah, he's like, can you blame me? And you're like, and everyone pops more. And she's like, no, it's not just sex. He wants sex in the morning. Everyone's like, yeah. Sex at lunchtime. Yeah. Sex in the kitchen. Yeah.
Sex at work.
Yeah.
Sex in the shower.
Yeah. Sex in the doctor's office. You know, like all these places.
And people are popping.
Popping like everything. Rusev is a sex addict. Everyone just pops. Just pops for Rusev. The Rusev Day chants are Rusev Day, Rusev Day. These dudes are just high-fiving. And now you've got all these men thinking about how many times you've done it with Rusev and thinking, Rusev's so tight.
Yeah, Rusev is the tightest.
And you're like, oh, no. And I'm like, dude, that was super untasteful. And it's just like, you just asked a bunch of kind of drunk wrestling fans, like, to one, talk about you having sex.
Yeah.
Two, how Rusev's the man, essentially. And then him going, can you blame her? And then she goes, no. And he's like, so you're saying, and then he's like, and all you wanted to do then was put a baby in me. And everyone's like, yeah. And it's like, duh. And he's like, she's like, she doesn't care about me. Like, I have a career, I have a modeling career, I'm a fashion influencer, which, okay, I never knew that. Where? I didn't know that. So anyway, they tell her that, and it's just, I have to keep this. I'm the most ravishing woman in the world. Like, I can't have a baby and the stretch marks and all that stuff. And I'm like, first of all, stretch marks are beautiful.
That's right, ladies.
Childbirth is beautiful. I will honestly say, I think my wife is 10 times more attractive since having a baby. there's something about it, especially when they have your child. I'm like, dude, that's amazing, but still sounding really selfish on her part. Like, I mean, personally, that's thing she should have a baby just because that. Yeah. But I'm getting into the philosophy of this. I'm like, trying to really help their marriage here, and I'm like,
we want them to succeed. Okay,
yeah, I'm like, I don't think you're missing the point of why he just wants it because he loves you so much. You know, Ruru, and Rusev goes, I wanted to have a baby, but I didn't want to like do that for you. I've always wanted to extend our family. But I didn't want to make you feel like it was forced. And he goes, so are you saying the reason, Jerry says, are you saying the reason that you want to divorce Rusev is because he wanted to have a baby with you? And she goes, no. It's like, okay. And I'm sitting there like, dude, this is bad. And then she goes, Rusev cheated on me. Then you go.
I popped. Okay, I said, okay, I'm in. I'm so in.
And I went, come on, dude. You're like, dude, I'm in. And Rusev goes, what? I never cheated on you. What? He's like, where did you even hear that? And she said, Bobby Lashley told me. He goes, and I'm sitting there going, oh my God, that's so stupid. And then Rusev says, Bobby Lashley's full of shit. Yeah. And he goes, and I'll tell it to his damn face, and I'll come out there and smack him one. And I'm like, damn it.
Got him.
I'm in. It's like I'm
immediately Joseph sits up, and I was stoked.
And I'm sitting there going, dang it. What? I'm in now, dude. I'm in now. So I'm sitting there, and he's like yelling at her, and she's like, shut up, Rusev. And here comes Bobby Lashley's music. And Ruru comes out and starts thumping. Stiffing on Bobby Lashley, really beating homie up, throwing him into the stairs. He goes in the ring. He throws him in the ring. He's just working him. Lashley hits like a modified flatliner. And then he sets Rusev up for a spear. Rusev reverses him with a Machka kick, and then just starts laying on him, like laying the heck out of him. And then Lana comes out of nowhere with a kendo stick, wrong side, and starts beating her husband in the back. But the best part is he no-sells it like he's the damn Fiend.
Yeah.
Just no-selling his wife, beating him in the back. And he gets up and he turns to her. She goes to swing at his like head, and he just like traps the kendo stick. And you go, oh my God, he's going to beat Bobby Lashley with it. And I immediately go, oh no, dude, he's just going to get low blowed. And he goes, you go, what? Low blow. And I was like, dang it, dude. And then I was like, dude, that's just not cool. Then he gets him up. I'm like, he's going to set him up for a spear. I wonder how good the spear is going to be. Psych, hits him with another low blow. 2 to the jewels.
Yeah.
Right in the Rusev.
Right before Crown Jewels.
Right before Crown Jewels.
Hit him right in the Crown Jewels.
Right in the Crown Jewels. He lays on the floor, and instead of doing like another finisher or something, he stands over Rusev while he's beating Rusev more. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. Beating Rusev more, and Lana stops him, and over her husband's beaten body, starts making out, lifting her leg.
Tonsil hockey with big boy Bobby Lashley. The Almighty Bobby Lashley.
We're not doing that anymore.
No?
No, they're done. That's our cruiserweight champion now. Yeah, apparently that's over. But it never happened.
Oh yeah, I'm in, dude. I'm all in for this story.
I'm in, but I'm less in as I was when he said the thing about Bobby with the low blows and that ending. The ending's so cringy,
dude. They are going for it.
Yeah, a rumor that we had heard before. We heard from Ryback TV. Ryback on his podcast had talked about that he thinks that the reason why this angle is happening is the Rusev's in contract negotiations with WWE. Dave Meltzer said back in June when asked when Rusev's contract was up, he said relatively soon. And so we're in November now. That's back in June. So we could be coming up on it. But he has expressed his opinions before about how he's been booked. He wants to be a heavyweight contender. He wants to be a top guy.
Deserves it.
And he deserves it. I remember being at WrestleMania in New Orleans. That would have been, 3 years ago? 4 years?
3 years ago.
I'm wearing the shirt from it. Yeah, I'm wearing the shirt 3 years ago. And I remember being on the streets in Bourbon Street all WrestleMania week, and the only chant I heard the whole time was, Rusev Day, Rusev Day. We have the Rusev Day calendar in here. Every day is Rusev Day. Even when they lost Aiden English, he still got Rusev Day over. He got over the Lana is the best, Lana number one. Like, he got all this over. He gets everything over, and he just keeps getting it over. He got the free Rusev hashtag over. He's so good. And for someone that doesn't have, necessarily the best fluid speech with his accent, he still does a great job. And how he's not How he didn't walk away from that WrestleMania as the Intercontinental Champion blew my mind. Then on top of that, how he's been booked and how you don't continue such a great thing in Rusev Day, it blows my mind. He deserves to be a top guy. I hope he doesn't resign. And if this is how they're going to treat him and Lana on his way out, then so be it. And he should go on to AEW having Rusev Day, call it Machka Day, and take my Machka money, dude.
That's right. I'm all in.
Yeah, I think he deserves way better.
Oh, so do I, man. Rusev definitely has it rough.
I couldn't imagine. I'd be out in a second. I'd be throwing hands with Bobby Lashley behind backstage. Man. But anyway, that's all we have for this wrestling week. Tune in on Wednesday when we have our Wednesday Night Wars. We're going to be talking about the ratings. Last week was the first week that we had different opinions. It's the first week AEW didn't win.
Yeah, they did not win for either of us.
Yeah, I said NXT won just because the Finn Balor turn.
Yeah. I went back and watched it, dude. And I might be Team NXT last week.
Yeah? You said draw.
I did because the beginning and the end of NXT were great, but the middle was kind of But all of NXT was good. So that put it at like in the middle for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I went back and watched. And I almost want to say I would, if I could go back, I would rule it a draw.
I think it was, I think it was right about the same.
AEW segment with the Jericho backstage, the Dippin' Dots, and because they also release more footage to keep you hooked. And I saw the extended backstage footage of him just constantly yelling, I have a ticket. I have a ticket. And it's just like, dude, what's it feel like to be Jericho that every single thing you say turns into a damn t-shirt and sells out?
It must be amazing.
I bought it.
Oh,
I bought
God.
it. Boom, boom.
I need to go buy it.
I have a ticket. Boom. I love it. But it's we'll be doing the Wednesday Night Wars. We'll be talking about the ratings and who won for this week. Tune in for that as well. And they also announced November 15th, WrestleMania tickets go on sale. You will catch your boys dgenerationxl there in Tampa for WrestleMania week. We are super excited. We're going to be having merchandise with us.
Yes, we will.
We're actually looking into potentially doing a vendor spot at WrestleCon and buying a little table out there. We'll do some meetups as well if you guys want to do some meetups. And, of course, we'll be filming our podcast every night, and we'll be going to a lot of these events. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, as well as share this content. We'd love to meet more wrestling fans. This week's wrestling match of the week, I watched earlier this week. Great match to look back on. Rey Mysterio taking on Ricochet at Defiant Wrestling in 2017. 17-minute banger if you like spots and high flying, because you get the old school, not almost such old school, but the old spot Will Ospreay Ricochet type match, but with more fluidity because Rey Mysterio's ring awareness and ring prowess. Great match. Go check it out. I miss Defiant Wrestling, formerly WCPW. Good match. But anything else you got?
That's about it. I really appreciate you guys tuning in to the dgenerationxl podcast, where we bring you all things wrestling all around the world. Thank you for watching our videos, guys. We'll see you on the next one.